It's really important to have a safety net of some kind. And honestly, it's just regard. It's just unconditional, positive regard.
You know, I'm just as good as anybody else. I believe that everybody has value. They just have to see the value inside themselves.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Transitions help me build a better life for myself and help me accomplish all my goals. I've came so far in such a short period of time because of what transitions has done for me.
So Miriah just told me she's 28 now, which means I met her when she was 23, 5 years ago. We were just talking, she said, I had to learn to love myself, and that's exactly right. The women that we work with can become so self-hating and so filled with shame about their lives that it's very hard to forgive themselves.
I was a really well-behaved kid when I was a kid, but when I became a teenager, I started making really bad choices. When I was 13, I ran away from home and I started using drugs, and I got into really unhealthy relationships all throughout my teenage years.
She was running away from her mom and me and everybody through her teen years, and she was homeless and on the streets. You know, I'd see her and my heart would break and she'd run away from me.
And then I got my housing voucher when I was 23, and I stayed clean for almost a year, but I didn't want it for myself. I wasn't ready. And I went back out, and for a couple more years.
I would see her, she would come into the hearth, and she clearly was no longer housed and was back on the street, and it was scary. It was scary just imagining what was going on.
And this time she really went bad. I mean, she was living in the house of charity. They would pick her up in the middle of the night. She was sleeping out in the snow. I would drive by every day, and I would see her walking around in circles, and she was losing her mind. I hate meth. I hate meth.
It was like, looking back, I even feel sad for myself because I was just, what I was doing, I was out there all winter long without a coat, and it was insanity. It was so hard for me to get out of that lifestyle. But I prayed to God, and right after, a cop kept telling me to go to community court. So he arrested me, and I went to community court.
This was different. You could tell this was different. And it was very serendipitous because the Homeyard Cottages was just accepting people on the wait list. And I'm like, Miriah, here's the application. You got to get on this if you really want this to happen. And she just was amazing.
I went to my parents and I told everybody, I'm ready this time. I'm actually going to stay clean, and I'm starting a life for myself. I'm going to do good, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to show everybody. And so I did.
She just blossomed. I mean, we have people come into the hearth all the time and say, oh, I couldn't have made it without you. And that's a lovely thought, and probably there's some truth to that. But the truth is they couldn't have made it without themselves. And they did the hard work.
I moved in here and I was all happy and all these good things were happening. After living here for a couple months, I started going to barista training at the New Leaf Bakery. And that was a lot of fun. At the same time, I was going to mental health and outpatient drug and alcohol. And not only do I have hope, but I'm carrying it out.
A lot of times coming from homelessness, people don't have a lot of trust, and they don't really know how to be a neighbor or a tenant. So really just having a safe place to learn how to grow and become the person that they want to be.
So our services have really been designed to meet people in whatever place they find themselves in, and that might be needing a shower and a warm place to be, to people who are so eager to go out, find a job, get employment. It really looks at the spectrum of where people are and recognizes it's not a linear progression at all, and that the support folks need in this community comes from housing, and it comes from employment, and it comes from supportive services and everything that we do. So it really is designed to be truly wraparound and truly honor how complex people are and how complex people's needs are.
I have a clipboard, and it used to have all my accomplishments on it, like I graduated ukulele class. I didn't skip any classes, so they actually gave me an ukulele. Now, I'm actually living life. It just keeps getting better and better, and then I got my license. and driving is a lot of fun. So there's a lot of things that's happened.
It was a miracle because what they said she had was drug-induced schizophrenia from the meth. And she's returned to me as my little princess and my favorite person in the whole world, and she's my hero today. And I'm so proud of her.
It's always the story that everybody wants to hear about how someone just, you know, found their way through sort of the darkness of their lives and they blossomed, and, you know, we all love a happy ending. And, but I think it's really important, and I think what Transitions does really well, is that we welcome people at all stages of their journey, whatever their journey may be. And we provide those opportunities for people, but we let people make their own decision.
She wants to go to college now. She's registered for the fall. She's working at Safeway. I'm just blessed, just blessed.
I'm living a good life, and so now I have pictures of new memories that I'm making, and I'm sponsoring people in AA, and that makes me feel really good to be able to reach out to somebody who needs me. And so now I want to go to college and do that for a living, is help people.
Everyone deserves a roof over their head. Everyone deserves a home. And a lot of times, other goals in life can't be met until you have that safety and that consistency with being housed.
Transitions, we give people chance after chance after chance. You know, if somebody loses their housing here and they come into the Hearth, we'll try again. And, you know, or if they, you know, get to Miriam's and discover they're pregnant, they can go to TLC. I mean, we really try to put something in place that will help to support them and help them be able to lift themselves up. The community can support us and help us in doing that, and understand that we're not always going to have a happy ending, but we're always going to have a happier ending. You have to believe that you're worth it, and you have to have the courage to step out there and really do it.